welcome back. We're going to talk Manchester United next because while they did take all 3 points against Nottingham Forest, that is their worst ever start to any Premier League game. They conceded 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes. And it's not just that it's a one-off. It feels like it hints at deeper issues at Manchester United, or it highlighted deeper issues.
I'd say, you know, especially with the sit-in, I'd say to Man United fans, continue. Don't just sit in when you win. People saying, oh, you only sit in when you lose. But they should. I was quite pleased to see them do that sit in when they lost. But, like, you look at Man United and it has to come from upstairs. There's too much going on. There's too much toxicity around the place. And the sooner they change that, I think, on the pitch, because I think they've got the players. You can see the fact that they came back. Bruno Fernandes, whatever people say, he's literally lifted the team up and he's dragged them through. They've got that quality. But I just think that there's just so much... It's just too up in the air. Players just signing. You know what I mean? Everything was happening. Nothing seems to can go right for them. Even though they've gone 20 games unbeaten at Old Trafford. Nothing seems to go right for them because there's too much going on, I think. It needs to be sorted out upstairs. Yeah,
it does feel like a club where you walk in on match day at Old Trafford and there is a lot happening.
Absolutely. I got trapped in the Munich tunnel last year on a protest day for a home fixture. It was that fixture against Leicester, actually. And, yeah, it is a place which is rumbling, and it sometimes is a little bit painful inside the stadium because you can feel it, even when they win. Like, yeah, OK, they got 3 points yesterday, but, you know, against a team like Nottingham Forest, if Man United are talking about the team they want to be, this big club, you know, that dominates the Premier League, then... No disrespect to Nottingham Forest, but you need to be beating them comfortably at home, and they're not doing that. They're 2-0 down, and on another day, if it's not a penalty, you know, they're not getting back in the game. They may be coming away with a point at best. So I think that it does highlight deeper-rooted issues.
Exactly.
And so many of those goals you could dissect and say, that's not good enough. And those are things which you ask any of the old, you know, Manchester United players of old, they would not do that. The mistakes are basic footballing mistakes, and they just haven't been addressed for the last 4, 5, 6 years.
And I think this is the issue, which is why we're not pointing at this game and saying, yes, they should be comfortably beating Nottingham Forest, and yes, they shouldn't be making individual errors. But it doesn't feel like a one-off. It feels like this is a longer-term problem, as he was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, the build-up to this week's been dominated by former players saying, look, pull your finger out, you know, you need to wake up. You are sleepwalking towards a problem, and then suddenly they go 2-0 down in the first 5 minutes. Initially, I did think to myself, is this a group of players not playing for the manager? But I think overall, United are affected by a couple of things. One is the takeover. Is it happening? Is it not? It's affecting their transfer strategy. I would not have given the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes. I think Varane is the winning most player in that team. He should have had the captaincy. I think Fernandes is a fantastic player, but focus on playing, because there are too many moments when the going gets tough where you are in danger of losing Fernandes. He's a very emotional player, and he gets involved in incidents with the referee and with other players that he shouldn't get involved in. And then, of course, you got those basic mistakes in as well. That's 3, not 2, but sorry. I just think there are far too many problems.
That's a fascinating point about the captaincy, because I look at that squad and I'm like, I don't know who the captain should be, because I agree on a certain level with Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a quality player, and the stats back that up. He makes things happen. He scores, he assists. But Liverpool away last season, 7-0, he threw the towel in. And as a Manchester United captain, can't be doing that. And that carries on through. That's you. That's who you are. And I think that moving forward, I mean, there was so much noise around Harry Maguire, and you know, I feel for Harry Maguire. I don't think he's had the professional support he is owed for being, you know, diligent in this whole difficult process for himself. But I think that looking at that squad, I'm like, I get what you're saying about Varane, but I don't even think Varane looks to me like a captain. In terms of the way he plays, I think all the players are not scared, but there's too much noise around the club for anybody to take it by the scruff of the neck and move it forward in the right direction. It's a tough time there. It
what
really
I would say with Bruno Fernandes and the captaincy is that he is somebody that... with the passion and the way he drives the team, you just feel like if they could get rid of everything that's going on around that place and get everything sorted, the recruitment, the management side, all that stuff, he just needs players around him, for me. Whether he's the captain or he's not a captain, he needs players around, because we can see...
with some great captains. Did they, you know, Tony Adams was a fantastic captain.
Yeah.
You've had a number of other captains for England and for Arsenal. Do they need other things, or are they players who lead with the armband or without the armband?
Well, the thing is, Tony was obviously a captain. He led by example with what he done on the pitch, the way he carried himself. Obviously, that's the captain that we all know, the upstanding guy, the one that doesn't do things like what you mentioned at Liverpool. I could never dream of him doing that, someone like Roy Keane. I could never dream of them players doing that. But in the current climate, the way he's playing, and people seem to give the captaincy to the best player, the most influential player, he's somebody that, when you watch how he plays, he looks to me like he's very frustrated. He needs better players around him, much better players around him, players of the same stature and higher, so you can hold him to account as well. I don't think there's many players in that dressing room that can say too much to him, even though you can see Varane's probably won a lot more than him. But I just feel that he's somebody that's got it because he's the biggest personality in there. He's not afraid to speak. He comes out and speaks all the time after games. And I just feel that his performances as well is what's got him that.
Yeah, I agree.
He does those things. I think he had better players. He might be a different player.
But how do you think his body language? Because he shows negative body language when somebody's not on the same page as him. If he plays a through ball and no one's on the end of it, if no one gives him the ball, his body language is negative. And I don't think you can have that as a captain. That's not me not saying he's a good player. He's a good player. But
those are the things.
But how does that then affect you?
Well,
my body language is bad, it affects you.
That will affect me.
And then it affects the next person.
That would have affected me.
Yeah.
But
would you have ended up having a row on the pitch?
Probably would have had a row. But the captains
Definitely on the training ground.
Captains that I had would not put me in that
never put you in that situation. Look, there's a lot to be fixed at Manchester United, as you said. It's a place where it does feel there are fault lines running throughout it, and they may yet be able to get past them. They've got Arsenal up next. It's going to be fascinating to see how that one goes next weekend. For now, though, thank you very much to Darren and to Izzy for joining us. We will see you at the same time next week as we look back on yet another week of Premier League action. For now, though, from all of us, bye-bye.
To it. Now the finish! And more and more and more. And surely that settles it. That is just remarkable, the amount of bend he got on that. Well, the ball flight may be unpredictable, but the predictable part was the technique. It screamed goal all the way.
After 85 minutes is...
He's made it two, and no doubt he's hungry for more.